So bogus. That's so wrong.
All right, so let me make sure I got pulled up. All right, my brother, we are live. All right, good morning, world, and welcome to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We thank you for tuning in with us. As you see, we have virtual backgrounds this morning of current situations, in which my situation is not so current because this is a very young Giannis Antetokounmpo without the afro. Um, Look like he's a rookie, right, Jamar? In Milwaukee, they even had the green and red colors. Remember those colors?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I wore a red shirt. Jamar, good morning. I see you with the Mavericks and the Clippers background. I thought the Mavericks were gonna close them out last night.
I did too. I actually fell asleep, woke up, and I'm like, there ain't no way that the Clippers won. I looked, I'm like, whoa, huh, okay.
Looks like Kawhi was the prime example of if we gonna go out, I'm gonna go out swinging. Unlike somebody else the night before. And so, with that being said, good morning, world. Welcome to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We would like to thank you all for tuning in with us and remind you that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast page, on Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price and Jamar Goodman, amongst other streaming platforms. Today is June 5th, 2021, and we have yet again seen an interesting week in the sports where the Los Angeles Lakers suffered a significant injury from a very frail Anthony Davis. And as a result, uh, the Lakers dropped three straight and they go home for the summer, leaving all types of questions around Lakerland. The Clippers forced a game 7. It is now the only series going on at this point, at least for the first round. Today and tomorrow, second round series begin. Um, we'll talk about those, as well as Damian Lillard, the Portland Trailblazers. With Terry Stotts, Jamal, I don't know if you've heard, he's out as head coach now.
Yep.
And so it looks like things are blowing up around Blazerland, and I want to talk about that especially. So we thank you all for tuning in with us. Introducing my brother from another mother, Mr. Jamar Goodman, NBA Playoff Edition this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am excellent. I'm ready to get into this. We have a lot to dissect, my brother.
Yes, we absolutely do. And so let's begin talking about a series that really, I would say, I was surprised by the result, especially if Anthony Davis was healthy. I think the Lakers finished them at 5, bro. I really do. With Anthony Davis healthy, 6 at the absolute most. But it turned out different. The injury for our boy probably turned out to be the best thing for the Suns, although they got some young Rough Riders, as you know. And so, man, Lakers are gone, man. What are your thoughts from the series? And let's talk about Anthony Davis. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it feels weird, right? This feels weird.
It does.
Like, bro. So I guess let's put it in perspective. The Lakers would not even be the 7th seed if they were healthy to begin with.
Right.
So going into the series, I mean, we knew that their 2 top stars wasn't healthy. It was just a matter of, how healthy are they per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Anthony Davis, ended up being the X factor in the whole series for sure, health reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1, he was a no-show. Games 2 and 3, he came out and, was doing his thing. Game 4, before the injury, he looked a little, passive aggressive. He really wasn't like killing yet. And then, the block attempt, and it was all she wrote from there.
Right.
And so, we was having a conversation yesterday and was like briefly talking about this and how, that the Lakers, like the role players, was a non-factor. LeBron wasn't the same LeBron that we used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And the style of play may not fit his style of play like he used to. And that's the one that, like, I'm trying to come to terms with, like, is it really, like, are we really living in that age now? Because it seemed like he was gonna last forever and
Mm-hmm.
ever until he he decides that he wants to leave, type
Right.
thing, on a very high note. But now it's like, ooh, like I don't know,
LeBron looks
like,
like the way he looked, bro. The way he looked like he didn't want no part of those young thoroughbreds. LeBron looked like he damn near ready to hang up the cleats.
ooh,
And I know the cleats. I know that's football, but I'm just saying he looked like he
right,
got the gym shoes, bro.
bro. He looked like when they missed the playoffs the first year in LA, like he ain't want to have anything to do with any of those guys
Mm-hmm.
at all. He just packed it in, mailed it in, whatever you want to call it. This dude talking about Space Jam after the the press conference. He's like, I
I'm
hope
telling you.
you see me in that matchup. Like, man,
Right.
dog. But
Uh,
no, I know I was jokingly when I picked the Suns in 7. I wasn't like fully committed on that, but I part of me was like, there's a puncher chance for it, but I didn't think it'd be like this. But I knew the Suns would probably do their part to stay relevant in the series, and they did. Um,
mm-hmm.
as we saw, you basically get, if you have 80% of Chris Paul, like, this team is fully functional. Like, Chris
Mm-hmm.
Paul wasn't even healthy at all, and he was able to muster through it. Luckily for him, it wasn't a lower extremity injury. It was more so upper
Right.
body. He was able to manage through it. It wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
hamstring like in years past that he can't move. But I mean, DeAndre Ayton, that was one of the X factors I mentioned in the series, and he showed up and showed out. It's like you wouldn't even thought this
Especially,
was
yeah.
the first playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Devin Booker, I mean, he showed up when it mattered most, like 47 on 22 shots.
He came out
15.
with a member mentality to finish them.
He did. He did. And then Jay Crowder, when he opened up the game with what the first like 2 threes, and then he was just hot behind the arc. I'm like, is this
Sent the message. That's a winning brother right there. Wherever he goes, he wins. Shout out to Jay Crowder.
indeed? Because he was in the finals last year with the Heat.
Oh, and he's been with the Celtics, having great runs with them. I
Yep,
mean, brother's a winner. Those are the type of guys you need on the team. If you want a basketball team, Jay Crowder, you want on your team.
I agree there. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, Suns got it done. They did not fold under pressure. They didn't really they the couple of losses, they didn't get blown out or anything from what I remember. I know it was a couple of big leads at one point in time, but I don't think they got like ran off the court per se. So, and then your second question, Anthony Davis, like, look, man, like he's basically Mr. Glass at this point, right? Um,
Mm.
I
When we speak of glass, we talking about fragile.
yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I guess at the end of the day, some guys is just just injury prone, and I'm pretty sure he's putting in the work in the off season. Maybe not as much as LeBron, but I'm pretty sure he's
I don't
trying.
think he.
I don't want to say that he's not, because he know he's injury prone. He admitted it last year that the guys are trying to get physical on him, and he went in the weight room. So I don't want to say that
Mm-hmm.
he's not completely, but maybe part of it is just DNA. I don't know.
Man, you say DNA, bro. I think part of it is he is very injury prone and he's a bit soft. And it makes Chicago look so soft, bro. Like, because look, we already got D Rose that's from the shop. And folks know about his injury history. And shout out to D Rose and what he did with the Knicks. Tremendous comeback. It is a motivation for all of us. But Anthony Davis, man, sometimes right, being that big and that tall, Jamar, can be a hindrance. And him being as big as he is, he has to like work extra hard, bro, because if not, he will get injured. Them big long damn legs. And all you got to do is just hit him somewhere near those legs and boom. And it's just crazy because the Lakers, as we know, are the most top heavy team in the NBA. They go with LeBron and AD. They are great with those two. Beat damn near anybody. The way they look game 2 and 3, they would have gave the Nets problems if those two guys were healthy. Real talk. They would have pushed the hell out the Nets because any sport, football, basketball, etc., is defense oriented, and the Lakers can defend, and they were the number one defense all season without really AD and LeBron. So top heavy. But you see, without those two, they look like a damn junior varsity team that plays somewhere in Buddyfield, Illinois. This is how terrible they is. Marc Gasol out of shape. I don't even see how he in the NBA. I don't see how Wesley Matthews is in the NBA. He is so terrible, Jamar. He can't even play overseas. That's how bad he is. Brother bricks up the joint, misses layups. They say he can defend. I'm like, who the hell he defending? Because obviously them young thoroughbreds is doing him in. I mean, the Suns had so many open three-pointers. It was laughable. They literally in the first quarter, like, this game over. Like, don't you know, Jamar, sometime when you I don't know, at least I've been there. You go to a rec league game and you maybe don't have the best team, and y'all go out and y'all play, and you can just tell by the first quarter, this ain't gonna go well. This is exactly what happened with the Lakers. And LeBron, I think, not taking away from his greatness, I think he got frustrated. I think he's a little pissed off at the management. Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, all those guys, for putting together a roster that they, I guess, figured Jamar would be talented. But that roster for me is old, it's depleted. Guys are at the very tail ends of their careers, can't hit no open shots. And in the NBA, you got to hit open shots. And Jamar, in today's NBA, with all that talent, with the Luka Doncic's of the world, the Steph Currys, the Damian Lillards, the Devin Booker, straight snipers and killers, that roster for the Lakers ain't finna work. They ain't beat nobody. Like, that they ain't beat nobody, especially if AD hurt. You gotta have some depth, some help. And I just think LeBron at this point in his career, bro, being 36, gonna be 37 next year, that's a lot to ask. And as crazy as it sounds, Jamar, I think LeBron is at the tail end of his career. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to either change teams, hope that Damian Lillard comes to the Lakers and just say, forget Portland, or he will have to learn how to adjust, Jamar, to play a different style in today's NBA because his style ain't working no more, and all these young thoroughbreds ain't afraid of him. They are not afraid of him. They can all stick him. They can all stay in front of him. They know what his moves is. They get amped up and ready to play him, right? Because it's LeBron. Everybody's amped up and ready to play LeBron. It's LeBron. So his style of play, man, ain't really working no more. I think if LeBron wants to watch his son on a court with him and they go against each other, which is what I hope to see, LeBron going to have to adapt to the new NBA.
I mean, it's crazy because it kind of like the rug just got like snatched up under him as far as the new style of basketball and the new guys coming in and I was when we was having this conversation yesterday, I was doing some heavy thinking of like how especially the point guard position has changed. And the guard position in general has changed.
Absolutely.
And so went from the particular like Rondos and Jason Kidds are setting up the offense, to the Tony Parkers who can score a little bit but still set up the offense, to
Right.
Russell Westbrooks, the prototypes with the Derrick Roses. Now you got the Steph Currys, and now you got the proteges of the Steph Currys out here. Basically, you got these combo guards running as point guards and just
Right. And you got forwards now that say, F it, I'm bringing the ball up. Kawhi say, F it, I'm bringing the ball up.
Yep.
Lucas say, I'm bringing the ball up. LeBron say, I'm bringing the ball up.
I'm point
You got Giannis. You got Giannis bringing up the ball. You even got Joker, the Jokic.
Yep. Julius Randle, Zion Williamson.
They bringing up the rock now.
It is truly positionless basketball now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And at this point, it's like you got to be able to be very versatile nowadays. You have to. So, I mean, what you said, you 36, about to be 37?
Yes.
I mean, adapt to a new style of basketball. I mean, he got a lot of miles on his body, and kudos to him for even playing at the height of his career this long, coming in the NBA right out of high school. But like, honestly, like, I know he's like, his IQ of the game is second to none, but like, how much more of a different style can he play at this point in his career, though, from what he's already used to?
And so let me clear that up. When I say adapt, I kind of mean that he gonna have to learn how to be a second or third wheel at this point, bro. Like, he gonna maybe if he could maybe change a team and sort of like go that Blake Griffin route, that blah, if LeBron want to win another ring. But if he wants to win a ring as an alpha in Lakerland, I don't think that's happening no more. Not with the salary cap, not with all these things that's going on, COVID restrictions and the money. Who they gonna bring there?
I mean, like you pointed, the only realistic possibility that I see at this moment, not saying that things may change in a couple of weeks, but Damian Lillard is like the one on the radar that may want to wave, elected to demand a trade or whatnot. But we also know Damian Lillard.
Best chance.
But we also know Damian Lillard is the one, also one of the few that wants to win where he's at too. So I mean, that's a wait and see.
Very low, and let's not forget the contract situation he got. He just signed a contract last summer to stay in for 4 years.
Who you trading outside of one of the top two for that to match salaries that Portland's going to be willing to take? You kind of stuck. And then you talking about LeBron, maybe like if he order to win to change things. I mean, he just locked into an extension. He's not going anywhere. And part of the reason why he went to LA is for business purposes. Hence why he mentioned Space Jam in the press conference.
Right.
So
like he's staying there, right?
Yeah, he stuck.
In that case, then LeBron championship window, we're putting it out here in the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, is likely closed. It's closed at this point. Unless LeBron goes another route and go to another team, maybe a year or two down the road or something. But other than that, situation in Lakerland is looking very frail. And it's looking as frail as Anthony Davis' health. Shout out to Charles Barkley for his meme. And it reminds me of Derrick Rose back in the day. So Jamar, every time Derrick Rose got injured, one of my coworkers, he will put next to him, literally, this guy was such a, he will put a seat of Derrick Rose in a suit. And he would basically sit it next to him every day. Because he was that diehard of a Bulls fan. It'd be like, Derrick Rose injured again. Let me pull it.
Wow.
And he'll put this, yes. And it reminds me of Anthony Street Clothes Davis, because that's what Charles Barkley stated about Anthony Davis. Anthony Street Clothes Davis. And so, Anthony Davis, man, you got to work on your health. You guys are definitely one of the top teams when you're healthy. The world could see that. The world could see when these two guys are on the floor, Phoenix did not stand a chance. The only reason why they won game one, Jamar, was because LeBron figures people out on that first game. After he figures you out, it's shut down. That's exactly what happened in game 2 and 3, but Anthony Davis got hobbled in game 4, and the Lakers go right back to being the Wesley Matthews, Kyle Kuzma, Dennis Schroeder, 3 points in 3 games. Marcus Gasol out of shape. Montrezl Harrell, they ain't even let that poor boy play. I don't know what the hell Frank Vogel was thinking with that one. I mean, at least he could have sparked you and gave you some energy and some heart on the floor, right? Because they got pumped. Wesley Matthews can't play internationally or nationally.
Did Drummond even play in Game 6?
He didn't even play in Game 5, bro. Didn't play Andre Drummond. Alex Caruso, Brick City, just Brick City. Po boy, can't shoot the ball at all. And I could just, who else for the Lakers roster? I mean, it was atrocious. And so, Lakerland, I don't know what the future holds for y'all, but it ain't looking too good. All right, but let's talk about that guy that's behind you, Kawhi Leonard. And even the guy he's going against, Luka Doncic. Imagine if the Clippers would have lost last night. SportsCenter was boring, right, bro? When the Clippers won. Imagine how exciting it would have been if the Clippers won. I'm telling my Scott Van Pelt would have came on with a big grin on his face, and they just would have been like news. But the Clippers took care of their business, and Kawhi was very aggressive and not passive like somebody was against the Phoenix Suns, and they call this a superstar. And so Kawhi went out all guns, 45, killer last night. Remind you of the old Kawhi. Clippers win this, man. It's gonna be very interesting for the rest of the West. I'll tell you that much. But remember, Jamar, what did I say 2 weeks ago? I said that if this series goes 7, then the Mavericks could probably win this game. And the way it's looking, this is the first time in NBA history that the road team has won 3 games on each other's floor. I've never seen that before. It's crazy.
Likewise.
Good, Jamar, we need your prediction. Could the Mavericks pull us out again and be the first team in NBA history in a 7-game series to win all 4 games on the other team's floor?
Man,
If so, the Clippers need to go to another stadium. They need to relocate out of LA. The Los Angeles, it ain't for them. They need to go to San Diego.
Something like for your question, like, can the Mavericks pull this off? Absolutely, they can pull this off. The pattern says that they will pull this off. Are they gonna pull it off? I have the hardest time convincing myself that, like, there's no way that Kawhi and these Clippers gonna lose Game 7 at home. There's no way. Like, so in my brain is telling me, like, by default, the Clippers will win this game, have to win this game. But I already know the other guy on my my right shoulder here, he's saying otherwise. But man, oh man,
averaging 35 this series, by the way.
Dude, yeah. Now I know you were saying, can you imagine if the Clippers would have lost last night? Imagine if the Clippers lose Game 7 at home to the Mavs, who they beat last year. But also on top of that, the Lakers are knocked out now. This is the Clippers' prime opportunity to actually be, quote unquote, the kings of LA for the next month or two. They have this opportunity. So it's like all this is like, there's no way they lose this game Sunday. There's no way.
If they lose the game Sunday, then the 2020 Bubble Western Conference Finals is going to be now held at the LA Fitness, right?
Bro, or Venice Beach if it's open. I don't know. I don't know, man. But it's like, all I know this is like if the Clippers lose, I feel like that organization is cursed or something, man. Something. Like, first off, it's no way, because I picked the Clippers to win, I think, in 5. I had the Clippers winning in 5 because I'm like, they are focused. You know, they acquire Rondo, Paul George. I'm even calling him Paul George right now because Paul George has actually been playing excellent for the most part in this whole series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to use the pandemic label on him right now because he's like shedding that off. But now they lose
And
this
he's
game.
been very calm too, man. That's one thing about it. He's been very calm
Yeah.
in the media. Like he's been telling people we're not panicking.
And I kind of believe him more this year than I do last year. Crazy as a thing. I like his play. He plays like he's playing at his pace. He's dictating the pace out there when I watch him play. He's hitting the
Right.
shots. He's being destructive on defense. He's actually making the right plays at the right times. I don't see him hitting the side of the backboard. I ain't seeing anything close to that. so I'm picking the Clippers to win this game just based on logic. Logic says they have to win this game. I know the pattern says otherwise, but I'm just going by the overall picture and what's at stake for legacies and team dynamics. And because look, this is what happens if the Clippers lose. Kawhi Leonard's on a one-way ticket out of town. He's not coming back. He's either going up the state, like north by the San Francisco area, or he's going to South Beach or somewhere in between.
Paul George he can just go across the hall.
Yeah, or that. I don't know how they make that work though with the cap situation, but if they could, then by all means. But anyway, Paul George is stuck there, but they probably be in full rebuild mode again. They'll probably tear all that down. Dude, the Clippers will never hear the end of this at all.
It's gonna be one of the biggest busts in NBA history.
Kawhi Leonard maybe or maybe not won't hear the end of this just because the resume beforehand, like, okay, he's a winner. That was just a bad spot. Paul George will never hear the end of it.
He'll never, ever.
They will question Tyronn Lue's coaching here. They'll question the ring that he won with the Cavs. It just be a domino effect all the way across the board. It would not be good. The Lakers fans can rejoice knowing that the Clippers blew that a golden opportunity. It would be bad. It would be bad.
Because I mean, right, if you are Kawhi Leonard and you see LeBron lose and out of the playoffs, the first thing that goes to your mind, Jamar, should be, oh, snap. I actually got a path now. I got a clear path now to the championship. If anything, that should have gave them a spark and a boost, right? It should have been like, okay, all right, they across the hall, they going, let's go get this. Like, for real.
Dude, like, and at the end of the day, I just, my mind says Kawhi shows up when it matters most, like he did last night. I fell asleep in the middle of the third quarter. I'm sitting here. I woke up at like maybe 3 o'clock this morning. I'm like, there's no way that the Clippers won this game based on what I was seeing. There was no way because they was looking down and out for the count. And apparently I saw the score and I woke up later on and saw SportsCenter, watched the highlights. I'm like, Kawhi showed up. When he like 5 for 5 in the fourth quarter, disrupt Luka on defense and then was killing him on offense. Dropped 45, 18 to 25 shooting from the field. 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
Like, that's the claw right there. That's the claw. That's the claw that we know. That's the claw we were expecting. It was certainly the claw I was looking for. You're right, man. The Mavericks' best chance to win this series was last night. They supposed to, smelt blood. And don't get me wrong, they're going to come in super confident as anybody would if you've won 3 games on a team's floor. Absolutely, hell yeah, you think you can win this series, right? And so the Mavericks, no doubt, a lot of people feel that if this series went 7, that the Mavericks would win this series. But I got to go with the greatness of Kawhi, man. I think Kawhi will come out like the claw again. Super focused, laser focused. And when Kawhi gets you on defense, Jamar, he's one of the toughest defenders I've ever seen. I don't know about you, but Kawhi is because his hands, his strength, massive. It's a problem. He would shut you completely down. Remember last year, prior to them losing to the Nuggets, people would see Kawhi and just pass the ball. Like, no. You score the ball. I'm gonna just stand here. You score the ball. Okay.
It's like a shutdown corner in football.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So, I'm looking forward to this game. It is tomorrow. It's a quick turnaround. It is Sunday afternoon. So not much rest between these two teams. They hop right on the plane and right to LA and got to pretty much play a basketball game and then go into the second round. But I think both of these teams, whoever they will play in the second round, they will be a problem, bro, because these are very talented teams, both of them.
The Jazz is waiting on them. And really quick before we switch gears to another series here, where is Kristaps Porzingis? Where is the unicorn? Because the last time I checked, he looked like My Little Pony out there. Where is this dude? Can he at least be a Maverick? You ain't even got to be a unicorn right now. But be a Maverick. What is this dude doing? Deshaun, what is your boy doing? What is your boy doing? I know you watching right now. What is your boy doing? This man is 3 of 7 from the field last night, 7 points. I mean, you got paid all this money. You supposed to be Luka's right-hand man, Robin. You can't even be Alfred. Like, what are you doing?
His right-hand man ain't Kristaps. It's Tim Hardaway Jr.
You're not even a Batmobile. You a freaking what's that? The Batarang thing that he throws. That's what you are. You, dude,
yeah, man. He's not even a Batmobile. He's a joke out there.
Dude,
man,
Batman's utility belt. I don't know.
He had a nice dunk. I mean, that was nice. Like, can't nobody block that dunk. Nobody. He's too damn tall. But other than that, I mean, it's it's part of the reason why the Mavericks are not that team. It all rides on Kristaps Porzingis, Shamar. That man goes out and have a good and dominant game. The guy that we thought that he was, the guy we expected him to be in New York. The Mavericks could win the West. Real talk. But if he goes out and lay an egg, they can be eliminated in the first round.
They need him. I'm literally like going through the games right now, the box scores, to see if he even dropped double digits in any of these games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so game 1, he dropped 14, but he was 4-13 from the field. Like freaking unicorn out here. Game 2, like, bro, what are you doing? Okay, game 2 is probably his best game. He dropped 20. It just looks bad.
20, that's it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was high. I'm pretty sure that was his playoff high so far. Pretty darn sure.
That's bad. That's
game
bad.
3 of 10 for 9 points. Game 4. Hold on, that was game 3. Game 4. Let's see, box score. 7 of 12. Okay, 18 points. But I feel like these are what I call empty calorie stats. They have no
very empty calorie. Very, very empty calorie. It's insane. So Kristaps, if you guys want to beat the Clippers, you have to have a good game, a great game. If you have a great game, you're one of the best teams in the NBA, honestly. One of the toughest teams to beat. All rides on you, my brother. If Luka's going to get his regardless. Against any defender. All right, let's talk about that Blazers and Nuggets series. Takeaways for me, man, was Denver has a great team all around. And shout out to Mike Malone. He is Jamar. I don't know if people know. This guy's a great head coach. He is a freaking phenomenal head coach. He's a winning head coach. And he is a championship head coach. This guy makes the most of whatever he has. And it's not to say that he doesn't have much, because honestly, he has a lot in Denver. He got some ballers in Denver. Anthony Gordon, Doc Rivers' son. What is Rivers' first name? Austin, that's right, because I know it started with an A. Man, I don't know if folks ever really look at this Morris guy, but he is a low-key baller, bro. Like, he can get buckets, and he can defend really well, and he's been very consistent with that team. Campazzo, this guy does all the little intangibles, bro, that people do not pay attention to, that wins you basketball games. I kid you not.
He reminds me of a new age, smaller version of Jose Calderon, in a sense. That's who he reminds me of.
Does a lot of intangibles. I mean, we know the Joker's going to get his, right? That's a given.
Dude,
The dude, I mean, he
dude,
scores when he wants,
dude,
Jamar. It's
dude,
and he can
when
score so many ways. It's unbelievable. He
it
deserves
is
to be.
when you're done talking about it, I'm having a whole rampage on Nurkic. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, Nurkic. That's a learn how to defend somebody. But Joker, man, it doesn't matter who's he's going against. That man's going to get his points, bro, and he scores just like by will. I mean, I've never seen a player that big that can just score buckets, 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 buckets. So Denver's a great team. And don't get me wrong, Portland's a great team too, and it's sad and it's unfortunate. But the Blazers' problem number one, Jamar, they don't defend no damn body. They don't defend nobody. I ain't never seen a series with the Blazers where it wasn't a shootout. It's always a shootout, an old-fashioned Wild West shootout. Whoever wins, basically, or whoever scores the most, like, is going to win. That's just a simple Wild West shootout. Portland is the prime example. Get your guns out. Let's shoot it out. Damian Lillard, bro. I mean, what else can we expect from him, right? The 55-point night in a loss. Like, so if he lost Jamar, then what does that mean? That means Nurkic wasn't defending nobody. That means CJ McCollum ain't defending nobody and missing a lot of shots. Very, very questionable things. Just, I don't know if you've seen the pass. He caught it. Foot went out of bounds. Game 4. Big. I mean, big, 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 big. This was game 5, sorry. Like, just crucial moments where CJ McCollum just don't show up. And it's supposed to be your number 2. So, Terry Stotts, nice head coach. He's nice. But Jamar, he's only a head coach because he got Damian Lillard on his team. If Terry Stotts was with the Bulls or if he was with somebody else, Detroit, teams wouldn't even be relevant. Damian Lillard kept his job and made him have that job. Your boy Nurkic, I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God. Get a rebound, at least foul somebody, do something, make your presence felt. Knock somebody on the ground or something to send a message. You don't even do that. Like, I mean, an absolutely terrible defender. I feel like me and you, Jamar, could score on Nurkic. We get the right dribble, we can get some shots up on him for real. Because all he gonna do is just say, "You're gonna shoot the ball? Here, shoot." All right, I'll shoot. Fine. Like, that's exactly what he's telling Denver, and Denver's like, "It is a feast. Let's eat." And so, Portland, sadly enough, I am concerned, bro, about Damian Lillard's future. I think, and I'm putting this out here in the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, that Damian Lillard should get out of Portland. Go. You're not going to go nowhere because that organization ain't going nowhere.
Nurkic.
You need to get out of Portland.
Nurkic. Nurkic.
And Nurkic is one of the main reasons he needs to get out of Portland.
My gosh, my brother. Nurkic. Dude. Like, offensively, he is so talented. He is talented on the offensive end when he shows up. And we were just talking about him last week, like putting out an APB on the man because he was nowhere to be found. He'll have one good game, take off like 2 weeks, show up with another good game. But this not even about the offense. Like, I understand that the Joker's probably gonna win MVP this year. I understand the Joker is like sensational.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, like, I'm sitting there watching, like, he is doing whatever he wants, when he wants, how he wants to do it. He is like, this dude is probably could do a whole tutorial video in the middle of him playing against Nurkic or how to do certain moves. It was that bad. Nurkic was that slow. Dude, like, I haven't seen anybody that slow since Shaq. And the thing is, like you can get away with that when you're Shaq being that slow. You can. But man, like,
he ain't nowhere near as big as Shaq. Like, he's a big body, but he's thin.
Yeah,
so he should be that slow. No,
at all. It's like, what? Like, is your conditioning that bad? I know you're injury prone, but man, can't, like, like you said, we can score on the man. Like they would switch off. I would see Nurkic by himself with Aaron Gordon, and he'll just take him off the dribble and just do his thing. I see Austin Rivers, switch on him and just pop a three in his face. Joker, he'll get him from the high post, get him from the three, get him from the block. And then the rebounding. Oh my gosh, like this dude could not get a rebound to save his life. They over here playing patty cake with the ball and getting offensive rebounds until they put the ball in the basket. He would just sit there like arms up, not even jumping. It was that bad. Like Portland, you had Hassan Whiteside, and you had somebody else that was formidable as well. You let them guys go. You put your money in Nurkic and
Aminu.
They had Aminu. They had Harkless a couple years ago. That was that perimeter defense right there. The moment they let those two walk a couple years ago, I put this on Facebook. They their perimeter defense and total defense went the poop, and you basically capped off your ceiling as far as you can go. Because like you said, they're in shootouts, and I get it, they can score, but I look at it like this: they the other teams bring in a machine gun because that can shoot pretty fast and can do some damage. They bring in a double barrel shotgun, it does damage, but you got to reload after every two bullets. Like you do not score at a high enough clip to be in shootouts with certain teams.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely don't play enough defense at all. Like your defense is horrendous. It is trash. It is hot trash. It is the hot
and
fire.
It's a shame because Jamar, I wanted to see that Phoenix and Portland. Oh man. I wanted to see Damian Lillard and Devin Booker go at it. You talking about fireworks.
And it's like with the Lakers out, it is like this is prime opportunity for everybody in the West to make a run now. It is prime. And he can't even do so because he putting all his heart and soul out there, and everybody else can't match what he puts out there. Like you said, McCollum not showing up, stepping out of bounds in Game 5. I'm sitting here like that was the game. I think that was Phoenix had Game 5 that night too, right? And was blowing out the Lakers, and we was at that point just switching to watching that Blazers
Portland,
game.
because the game was over by the first quarter.
And I'm sitting here like, ain't no way they ain't gonna tie up this game. Ties up the game going overtime. Ain't no way they ain't gonna do this again. We go into double overtime. At that point, it's like you just have to win. Then they don't show up. They don't. They just don't do it.
So, it's sad. And Victor Young stated, "Man, I thought I liked Nurkic before he got hurt. After he got hurt, he hasn't been the same. He's just too slow and gets tired easy."
He's out of shape. There's no conditioning with that man. I don't get it, but I know one thing. Like something has to give this all season. Like I know you want Dame to leave. A lot of people do. I get that. Me personally, I hope Portland does what they need to do. I heard he has the most say-so of who the next head coach is, and I heard he wants Jason Kidd.
Right.
But Jason Kidd, I heard, is the front runner for the Boston Celtics job. But I don't know. But nevertheless.
And shout out to the Lakers for losing out on Jason Kidd because Frank Vogel ain't it in Lakerland.
Hey, but Vogel got on that bubble ring last year.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
just you got to keep in mind though, prior to Vogel being named head coach, you remember Jamar, Jeannie Buss wanted Jason Kidd.
Yeah,
she wanted Jason Kidd. She didn't want Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel just happened to fall into the lap, and so he looked like he's going elsewhere. He's leaving Lakeland for sure.
Yeah. So.
And I hope it's more black head coaches, by the way. So I want to hear this bull crap. I want more black head coaches. I want to see a Jason Kidd. I want to see Sam Cassell. Like I want to see some guys that are former NBA players, like Chauncey Billups. I want to see these guys. If Steve Nash can get a job, Jamar, Chauncey Billups, Jason Kidd, hello.
I agree with you. And also they need more front office jobs, but we will have that discussion another day. But basically, I hope Portland does what they need to do for Damian Lillard's sake. I don't want him to go, me personally, because I want to see that team stay relevant or competitive. And,
you're right, because if he goes,
They always end up in the major markets, like, but
right.
But his loyalty, like, I appreciate that. I just need the team to do their part. If they don't, then by all means. But this is the off season. Like, this is it. Like, you gonna have to like move Nurkic. You gonna have to like possibly like realistically move CJ McCollum and Nurkic. Go get you some go getters, a real big, somebody that can play some defense on the perimeter, somebody that match your intensity, your heart. Like, let's just say, for instance, if Jimmy Butler was available, I would make that trade in a heartbeat. Something like that.
Oh, just absolutely.
Like winning mentality. Like, just
I love that.
So that's how I feel about it. And
I even go for Zach LaVine. I go for Zach LaVine over CJ McCollum.
Heck yeah, I would too. But you know, as Bulls fans, we don't need that to happen right now. But lastly, before we switch off, for the Nuggets side, shout out to Michael Porter Jr. He is answering the bell. The injury of Jamal Murray, the second option there. He is showing up. He is showing out. He is living up to the potential right now. Another reason why I can't stand guard Pax at the moment, because we had the golden opportunity. We elected to select Wendell Carter Jr., who's not even a member of the Bulls.
I never knew that. Really?
Yes, Michael Porter Jr. was sitting right there. They just like everybody else worried about the back. I get that, but I mean, at that point, it's worth rolling the dice because the output, the potential of him, like the risk was bigger than the reward is bigger than the risk to me at that time. And look at it now.
I think Chicago teams are learning that they are so stupid at times. Only team that really gets it is the White Sox. That's it. That is literally it. The Bulls, the Bears, this conservative bullcrap approach, it ain't getting us nowhere at all. I never knew, but the Bulls have passed up on so many. And it's like when they leave the Bulls, they just go have great careers. I never knew Daniel Gafford was so good. Jamar Ty watched him with the Wizards. You hear me? I never knew how good he was. He's a very good ball player. Like, for real. And I'm like, damn, why was this with the Bulls? Oh, never mind. He's not with the Bulls no more. He's free. And so, Jesus Christ. Wow. I never even really knew that whole story about Michael Porter, but he is definitely balling. And, bro, he got that backstroke now. He can do that fadeaway. And that is, like, lethal. He got that in his repertoire. Watch out. The Nuggets, I think Jamar, oh, my goodness, man. You get the help for Jamal Murray. That team, I just wish he was healthy because they would be my favorite for the West, for real, if he was healthy. Now the West is just like it's up in the air now. It's up in the air. And so let's quickly talk. Oh, okay. I quickly give my thoughts about the Jazz and the Grizzlies series. Utah, I think World, y'all could agree. Out of all the teams in the West, they kind of look like they're the best team in the West. They like just score at will. It's like a track meet with Utah. You got to really keep up. And let's not even mention how great defensively they are. They do have the reigning defensive player of the year. And it's very likely, y'all, as you know, Rudy Gobert will be named defensive player of the year again. Donovan Mitchell didn't play game one, but he come back game two and the series just completely changes. Don't get me wrong, Ja Morant, getting his points. Daniel Brooks for the Grizzlies, showing that he could be that dude. But the Utah Jazz, just so many weapons, so many defenders. And then they got Donovan Mitchell and they got Ingles and they got Jordan Clarkson. All these guys just get tremendous buckets. And that's not even mention the altitude in Utah and how difficult it is to play in Utah. And so, although Memphis had a great run, I expected this series to go 5 and it went 5 games. Memphis got a bright future. They got a bright future. They are going to be somebody to be dealt with. And Memphis is always just a great playoff team. They always provide entertainment. But as far as the future, they got to build. But the Utah Jazz, for me, it's looking like one of the stronger teams in the West, and they look like they could be a very legit favorite. And who knows if they play Brooklyn? I would love to see that. That'd be kind of interesting. And so I just told the world, Jamar, about the Utah Jazz and how they looked and how dominant they look. And between the Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, that's going to be a very interesting series, especially depending upon the matchup. If Dallas beats the Clippers, Jamar, Utah's going to spank Dallas. But if the Clippers beat Dallas and they play Utah, that might be a different story.
Man. Hold on.
Yeah. So when it comes to this series between the Jazz and between what's going on within the Clippers and the Mavericks series, it's going to be a very entertaining series. So just Jamar, quickly, what are your thoughts from that series between the Utah and the Grizzlies series? I mean, Memphis got a bright future. I can say that, right?
No, they do. They got dogs. They're young. They're hungry. I mean, they between the star power arrival of Ja Morant and one of the most underrated two-way players that's making a name for himself, and Dylan Brooks, who was a pretty good scoring talent. And when he was at the University of Oregon, I do remember him there. But Valanciunas looks like he fits in there, because normally he looks like a guy that's kind of slow as well, but not on Nurkic level. He's actually productive. So yeah, I mean, Grizzlies are young, but Utah is that formidable right now.
Right. Yeah. Utah looks like they could be a team that could win the West. A team that could, if they would have played Brooklyn in the finals, would give them a serious run because they defend, because they score, because the altitude, and so many just different avenues of being a very, very tough team. So, yes, Utah, somebody to look out for. I'm keeping an eye on this, and I think with that series, it just depends on who they plays. All right, quickly, bro. Let's talk about that Brooklyn and Milwaukee series.
No. Let's talk about that disrespectful picture you got behind you.
Look, man, this is not a disrespectful picture of Giannis Antetokounmpo being a rookie and looking like a reindeer. This is just a picture of Giannis Antetokounmpo talking about how young he is, but talking about how mature he's gotten, okay, and how he's learned how to play in the NBA and how to win and how to be a champion. Although he's not a champion, he is going to have a legit chance, Jamar, if his team can beat the Brooklyn Nets. And so, them against Brooklyn, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's another good one, Victor. Melo, yeah, he did have a few good games, 2 good games in that series, put up some good points. But Gary Trent, Vic, woo, Jamar, that's a good one. Dude could ball, Gary Trent. And he was part of the reason why they had a really good run, went to the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago. Dude could ball. And they let him go, and he's having a good run with somebody else. I forgot the team. But that's a good one, Gary Trent, for sure. I think he's in Toronto now. And so I'm not being disrespectful to Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm stating that he's mature and that his Milwaukee Bucks have a very damn good chance, I feel, against that talented Brooklyn Nets team. Why, Jamar? Because they are dogs defensively. And defense wins championships every other year or so in the NBA. In the NFL, defense wins championships for sure. In basketball, you can kind of run into a great defensive team and they can make a serious run. The Bucks, man, they are dogs. They beat the hell out of Miami. I don't think people realize Miami's a good team. That's just me. I don't think they're that bad of a team.
They're not, but Forbes had more points than Jimmy Butler in that series.
I know, and this is what I'm telling you. Great defense wins championships. They were shutting him down. Drew Holiday is one of the greatest defenders in NBA history. He would go to the bathroom with you. This is how he shut you down. Forbes, I told you, Jamar, this Milwaukee team is super dangerous. And the reason why is because they got shooters that hit their shots. And this is not even putting pressure no more on Middleton. All Middleton got to do is go out and be a closer. That's all he got to do now. On top of him being a very low-key great, he's a very low-key great defender, bro. Chris Middleton, I don't know if the word is. He's a great defender low-key. And then you got your boy Forbes, man, like you say. I told you, Jamar, prior to the playoffs, the way they beat Brooklyn, Forbes is the difference. This dude can get hot and he don't miss. And he comes from that championship background of just being around Greg Popovich. That weighs on people. He builds people for the moment. So picking up anybody from San Antonio is a good pickup. And so, putting him alongside Drew Holiday, who toys with defenders, he toys with these boys and can score the rock, can baby you, can do all these things. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jamar, you can't build a wall around him no more, bro. Can't. And so, Kevin Durant and DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Claxton, you will need every single one of these guys in order to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. This, Jamar, this series, we're putting it out on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, will be the NBA champion. Whoever wins this series.
I'm with you. So
what are your thoughts? Because you've been riding Brooklyn tail, but I know you love Giannis, so I'm confused.
I know, man. I have a good problem to have right now, man. I have a good problem to have.
I hate to see this as a second round series.
I know. Yeah. So winner is going to the finals. And winning more than likely. Giannis is probably the only player right now, just based on what I'm seeing, can be the one that may be somewhat not limit Kevin Durant, but make it pretty difficult for him to get the shots that he wants.
Right.
Giannis has to play like the MVP Giannis for them to get it over the hump and beat them, which he is capable of doing. As you said, you cannot build a wall around Giannis no more. That is done.
But Jamar, I'm here to argue with you, brother. Giannis don't have to do too much. His supporting cast is that deep.
Hey, and that's the personnel move they made in the offseason.
They remind me of Portland, where Portland is right now. They said, goddamn it, we got to do something because we're tired of being in this space. Yep. We got to do something. Now look at it.
And remember, a year ago, we was sitting here like what the Bucks gonna do? Giannis, contract extension is up. What are we doing?
Rumors of him going to Northern California.
Yeah, or South Beach and stuff like that. And now, he trusted them. They made the moves. I mean, this is probably the best matchup that Brooklyn's going to see, just as far as being a tough opponent.
Yep.
Drew Holiday.
They get past Milwaukee, they gonna run through the conference finals and the finals.
Yeah, it's a wrap. So yeah, Giannis just got to show up and do. He has to be a superstar on both ends of the floor. But like you said, he doesn't have to do too much as he in years past because of the shooters and the playmaking ability of Holiday and Middleton. They can create their own shots. Holiday has made Middleton look comfortable out there. Middleton is doing his thing, man. And I love seeing that guy playing with confidence. He's helping bring the mid-range game back. Them little size up moves and getting his mid-range off and stuff. It's a thing of beauty. He's shooting that thing with confidence.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis shooting that thing with confidence. Drew Holiday getting
That's the
every
thing. That's another one. Bobby Portis, man. I tell you, these guys go from the Bulls and have great careers.
They do, man. Brooke Lopez out there just doing his thing. Cunnington. I know Dante DiVincenzo. He's out for the playoffs, but it's like they're not missing a beat. They're not. And so, game one tonight will definitely set the tone. I do look for Milwaukee to show up and make game
I can't
one.
even make a pick right now, Jamar. I got to see game one.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, this is basically our NBA finals right now, so I mean, it's cool. Let's just enjoy the moment.
Right. This is going to be a tough series. Game one will definitely. I think Brooklyn, once they get on the court, they're going to realize how hot and how exhausting it will be. So they'll have to bring out the big boy fireworks for sure. We'll see. If Brooklyn blows out Milwaukee, then we know what we got. But if Milwaukee pulls out a dogfight, I don't think Milwaukee will blow them out. But if Milwaukee blows out Brooklyn, oh man, it's gonna be really interesting. And so you just got to see that game one. Another series, Jamar, and it's sad to see, but our boy Joel Embiid is hurt. He is hurt, and I thought Philly could be a very, very tough matchup for Milwaukee or for Brooklyn, of course. But it hurt. Joel Embiid, as we know, is one of the best players in the NBA when he is healthy. He is a foul problem. He gets to the line whenever he wants, and he drops 40 on you easily. And so having that offense not on the floor is like a major disadvantage. I really hope he's back healthy. And I hope they were just saving him, Jamar, to say, hey, we'll take care of Washington. Save yourself for this second round matchup, which will be the Atlanta Hawks. But Atlanta's, they looking a little dangerous, Jamar. And if Joel Embiid ain't healthy.
Ooh-wee.
Man, brother, I'm saying. So, who do you got for this series? We got to make a pick here.
If Embiid is not showing up in this series, dare I say it, I'm gonna do it.
I'm with you.
I'm picking the Atlanta Hawks. Dare I say it? I look. Embiid is, game for game, personally for me, has been the best player. Game for game for the entire season when he's playing, he's been the best player the whole year. But we know the injury history has not been on his side, and he's actually been, better in this part of his career with injuries than, in the beginning. But he is that valuable. Like Philly without Embiid, I mean, they are an okay team, but they have championship aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
But, a slight meniscus tear, that's not going anywhere. That's not going away in the playoffs.
That is not going anywhere. That is not a good injury.
No, it's not. So, Atlanta was one of the teams that was mentioned before the season started with the acquisitions that they will make they can make a run to be in the playoffs.
Right.
And look at where we are now, coaching.
And we thought that we additionally thought that they could make the second round because of
yes. And now we're in a position and we are saying that they can be in the Eastern Conference Finals based on everything that we know at this exact moment. Trae Young, I mean, if Ben Simmons guard him, he might have a tough time, but they have Bogdanovic, you have Gallinari, you have this whole bad haircut team giving buckets. Team bad haircuts out here being assassins. You have Clint Capella with his yellow stripe. It's probably going to dominate the paint now without Embiid down there.
And he talking mad trash too now.
Yeah, Sweet Lou out there ready to get his lemon pepper on again in Philly, one of the places that he used to play at. Look, I know they can probably shoot with them, but I just feel like Trae Young is a killer. When the game matters most, Trae Young is gonna be the best player on the floor.
Yep, he's gonna get his point.
if
He
it
gonna
comes,
get his points.
because what's gonna come down to? Trae Young versus Ben Simmons on the last shot? No. So that means Trae Young versus Tobias Harris when it comes down
Right.
to clutch buckets.
And it would have been him versus Embiid.
Exactly,
But
and that would have been more formidable.
Embiid might not be there, and I think they was gonna have a hard time with Atlanta with Embiid. And if he's not there, they can barely buy buckets. At least on the road they couldn't. They were pretty good at home. So I think without Embiid, this series still goes 6 games, Jamar. Without Embiid, but with Embiid, you know, it goes 6 games towards Philly way. But you know, we'll see how things turn out. This will be a very interesting, sneaky, intriguing series that I'll keep an eye on, especially because of Jamar's comments here.
I mean, my last thing is, because we know Atlanta will catch fire. They have caught fire in all these games at some point.
And they'll especially catch fire up down in the ATL.
Yeah, so when the fire is blazing, like, do the Sixers have enough water and water hoses to put it out and catch up?
Right. At home they do. On the road, I don't know. At home they do. On the road, I don't know. And so all eyes definitely on this series. All eyes on the health of Joel Embiid. Embiid, come on, man. Come on, man. This is your chance, bro, to really make an impact and for us to be quiet about the process. Bro, if you don't make the conference finals, Jamar, this is another one. We was talking about LeBron in the headlines. We was talking about the Clippers in the headlines. This is another one. Yeah. If Joel Embiid ain't healthy, I don't give a damn if he ain't healthy or not. If they lose, headlines will be all over. And Philly got some fans too. They just as worse as New York. And so people will be very upset. And it'll be a lot of rumblings out of Philly. Talented, but Embiid hurt. Ben Simmons talented, Jamar, but he ain't got no jump shot. If he had a jump shot, Jamar, they my favorite to win the championship probably.
Yeah, he's that good. You know? He's that good.
He's that good. And so it's a sad thing to see, man. But, you know, I hope Embiid is back. I hope he's playing this series, and I hope he's at least 80 to 85%. I want a good part of Embiid, and I want him to be out there and be himself, because if so, this team is a very good team. All right. And so, geez, I think that kind of covers our 4th series.
I think so, because we don't know the other matchup yet. So yeah, that's about it.
That is about it. And so we thank you all for tuning in with us this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, which is the NBA playoff edition. We wanted to talk about the NBA playoffs because that is what's relevant right now. We will talk about other sports. Shout out to the White Sox, who have been taking care of business, first place in their division. Shout out to the Chicago Cubs, who are second place in their division. And, you know, pretty decent team. They have definitely exceeded my expectations. And shout out to Chris Ford for seeing that, because I didn't see that with the Cubs. But then again, they are a great regular season team, for the most part. So, you know, they're winning, and they are winning tight, close games, unlike the White Sox tomorrow, who win shootouts 9-8 as they did yesterday. Typical White Sox. Yep. And so the bets are definitely there. And so, just Jamar, any final thoughts? I got one. I am upset at the Chicago Sky. They look terrible, Jamar. And they are losing a lot of close games. They got to win these close games, man. And Candace Parker, she got to get off TNT and show up, because she's missed about 4 games this year. Shout out to Sabrina Ionescu. The New York Liberty looked tough all of a sudden. And so for me, that's a bit of a surprise. I thought it was going to take her a little while to get adjusted to the WNBA. But then again, it's a WNBA, right? a lot of the superstars from the WNBA can come right into the WNBA from college and go do some damage in the WNBA. And so she's another one. She has a member mentality. And so, yeah, man. And other than that, in the sports world, we just got to keep an eye out on what's happening with Sean Watson. Few moves have been made. Shout out to that wonderful fantasy analysis from last weekend, Jamar. Looking forward to, you guys doing more on Destination Fantasy. And other than that, everybody have a great, blessed, safe weekend. It's going to be 93 today, bro.
Man, I'm looking forward to that. Oh,
yeah.
Really quick, because I know you was talking about the WNBA. Definitely want to mention this. So, shout out to Dana Evans for being traded to the Chicago Sky. She is from Gary, Indiana, so somewhat of a homecoming type thing. She killed it at Louisville rookie. So when we saw that news, like whole city is happy. So definitely give me more of an intrigue to watch the Sky than I already have. So
right, dope. Yeah. Any thoughts on the White Sox Cubs?
I mean, everything stayed constant. I mean, White Sox was winning 7-2 yesterday before they ended up winning 9-8. So same issues there, but a win's a win, but it'll be addressed. I mean, Cubs doing Cubs things. So, I mean, everything's staying consistent that we know of.
Shout out to the Yankees winning the last 17, 18 games. Yeah. So maybe, Jamar, what we was talking about a few weeks ago, maybe it's just that the Yankees are just they're really that damn good this year.
Maybe, because I know when the Yankees are good, the baseball's good. So that's just what it is.
Baseball's good for sure. So definitely keep an eye out, because although the White Sox are good, the Yankees are good. And shout out to Mike Trout and the Los Angeles Angels, because they are not good. Every chance I get, don't clap, Jamar. Every chance I get, I will talk about Mike Trout, because he is just as overrated as Christian McCaffrey. All these guys do is take advantage of their white privilege. That is right. I don't give a damn who's on here. Kevin Clark, you can talk to me if you want to. These guys take advantage of white privilege. They are the faces of what? They do nothing. And they're just as hurt as Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis. And so all the money he gets and being rated as the best baseball player in baseball, it is not him, it's Mookie Betts. And it's also another guy that now has passed up Mike Trout. His name is Acuna Tatis Jr., I believe. He plays for the San Diego Padres. This guy's a beast. And so the two best baseball players are in Southern California. No, one is in Northern, one is in Southern, and the other one's on the other side of LA. And he should be in Chicago, I think, with the White Sox. So remember, Mike Trout, you're not going to win in LA with the Angels. So you might as well just come to the South Side. Me and Jamar, we will be your tour guide. We will show you around Chicago. We will make sure you are safe on the South Side if you have little worries. And we'll make sure that you enjoy Lakeshore Drive and North Avenue Beach. Ain't that right, Jamar?
That is right.
Yes. So, just putting that out there for you, Mike Trout. And so with that being said, we thank you all for tuning in with us this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Thank you all for the likes, for the participation, for the love. Much appreciated. And you guys have a blessed day and enjoy this wonderful weather. Peace.
Peace out.